So through this process, we've identified a number of what we would call success factors, and we want to share with you what we've learned. Some of these we were successful at. We did well. But some of these I would call more lessons learned. We didn't do so well, and if we had it to do over again, we'd do a little bit differently. So the first important success factor to us was having the right team, and that means having folks with knowledge base that spans financial, program areas, your systems, and legal counsel. And in this case for us, it also meant having a dedicated project lead, because as Victoria explained, our not only our Spending Montgomery project, but the broader context in which this project sits, it's a large, complex scope of work. So Victoria is our dedicated project lead. Next, a success factor was focus, constantly keeping the business needs that you're trying to meet in focus and working towards those. For us, that also meant, really importantly, defining the key user personas, and that's personas, not persons, and continually referring back to those key user personas. That was really important for us. Third is plain language. We haven't mentioned yet, but one of the things we identified that we thought was important to build into our website is a glossary, is explanations and definitions of terms that we use. So, for example, every one of our expenditure codes that we are going to be disclosing will have a definition around it. And we use both a portion of the website to provide these definitions and a hover tool. Well, we accountants, and I'm an accountant by nature and history, we're responsible for crafting those definitions. And what we learned early in that process is that accountants have our own language, and we don't always speak or write plain English. So what we thought was very straightforward that anyone could understand was not. So the lesson learned there was to get a non-accountant who really understands, who actually doesn't understand the data, involved in a review, either helping you craft the language or reviewing it to make sure it's understandable to the average user. Systematic. We needed to have an automatic, repeatable process for ensuring the quality of the data we were pulling. And engagement. You need to involve the business owners, and that means the right ones right from the beginning. We did involve our business owners, but we didn't necessarily involve the right ones. We reached out to our finance contacts in the departments, the people who we knew who handled accounting issues or financial issues or budget issues. Those weren't necessarily the right people. We needed more of the program people, or we needed a combination of the program and the financial people. And we involved them once we were really heavily into the project. With hindsight, if we had involved them from the beginning and managed their expectations about what we were doing, how we were going about it, we would have had a better quality product and one that was available sooner. And the last point, probably the most important, is just managing expectations, as I just alluded to. That's managing expectations with all that are involved, with the external users and constituents. I mentioned when we had resident focus groups and we brought them in to look at screen mock-ups, we tried to be very clear with them that just because they're asking us for something doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be able to provide it. But we want to take their perspective and their desires and their needs into account. You want to manage expectations of executive management because you're doing this for them, and they're the sponsor of this project and the process. And you want to have your business partners in your operating and legal departments managing their expectations and being respectful of their time, working in a collaborative way. So that recaps the success factors that we would share with you.